You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is here, starting off with my man Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
I am doing quite all right.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
it's nice and proper response.
I try to be proper.
Good to see you as always, my brother. Oh man, Jay Moore in the building, rocking the New Jersey Devil 𝗏𝗏 edition. I see you. How are you, sir?
Getting it how I live. There's no other way to do it.
Oh, that's it. You'll get straight to it, huh?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. To my immediate left, rocking a nice exclusive Wu-Tang joint. I see you. My man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
I kind of feel like that's
No,
okay.
It's not that.
I'll keep it to myself.
The hoodie is fire.
Thank you.
All for that purchase. He got some cold J's to match. I'm not a hater. My brother's
usually you shouldn't have to say that you're not a hater.
I'm not a hater.
It's kind of like the people that say that I'm not a racist.
Y'all ignore the growth for the sake of that. Just watch the growth.
I'm not a hater.
You've had a little bit of growth.
Just watch the growth.
Yep.
I ain't hating.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
They hate in the chat. Shout out to the chat. They've been on me here since
I'm not a hater. I just front a lot.
But all right, man. So this is going to be a very fun show. We
super fun.
Thanks, Lone.
Yeah.
All right, man. So we asked the chat, and the chat usually they have a pretty good percentage of providing us random topics. They usually will throw something out, it'll stick, and usually works. But unfortunately, I believe the chat
They've kind of failed us.
Yeah, they let us down a little bit tonight.
I mean, not really. I mean, so we had the conversation about Ghost and Ray, but we just haven't seen it all the way through.
Yeah.
About the drink champs.
It was just 4 hours long,
Yeah.
so gotta do that in segments.
What about Virgil? We didn't talk about Virgil.
Shout out to Virgil, man. Rest in peace of Virgil.
We talked a little bit
I mean,
about
we mentioned it, I guess.
Yeah, but it was still new news. It's they already had the memorial for him, and Tyler the Creator spoke, and
that's dope.
Kanye was there, and it was, when you still think about, I still think about being 44, and I think about 41, and seeing all the things that he accomplished. It was something to really kind of marvel at, because I knew of him, but like I said, I don't. These are clothes and lifestyle brands that are really just out of my reach as far as financially. So I only paid so much attention, even with the thing.
You ain't got no Louis in your closet?
Yeah, none.
Oh,
even with what he did with like the Nikes, the Jordans.
I got a purr.
Yeah, and now I see they're going for a ridiculous amount. I
had them before that. I lucked up, so
yeah.
No, the Off-White brand was cold. Yeah,
and then he even had done some design for Mercedes-Benz for
that Maybach is silly.
Yeah.
Even if you
and not just a Mercedes-Benz, like you said, a Maybach.
Yeah,
they just didn't have him out here like, okay, see what you can do with this C-Class coupe. They had him working on the Maybach, which is their top of the line. So it's just kind of crazy. Once again, 41.
Crazy
41. I think about Chadwick Boseman.
Man, and I saw pictures of them together that were floating around.
Because the wild thing is like, a lot of times we think we know these celebrities, and then we get all shocked when they get married, or they've been sick and they've been dealing with something, and it's just another thing that reminds you we don't know these people. We don't know what they're going through.
Yeah,
and sometimes
he kept that private, just like Chadwick. He kept that private. Man.
I just remember like people and this is why you just it sometimes you can win by just keeping your mouth shut. People would say, "Oh, Chadwick, well, he's looking kind of crazy out here," and they didn't know.
I remember that.
And there were times where like he was doing the Wakanda Forever, and it looked like he was over it, and and people would make fun of that, but it was like, he was probably in pain, and it was a lot going on in his life that he didn't care to share with us. So
I
you just never know, man. You just never know.
I respect that. The fact that there are celebrities that choose to keep certain things private, and to keep it out of the realm of everybody knowing everything. Like, I had no idea this was going on, no idea. And if you think about the level that he ascended to, like, that's big in terms of Virgil. Like, that's don't happen too often. You know, we even heard Kanye talking about they've been so close. We talked about his path, but that's huge where that brother was and where he got to from a fashion standpoint, an influence standpoint, and culture. Like you see people, NBA players, football players, actors, whoever. Off-White was beyond exclusive.
Not even that, because you got to understand, he grabbed the attention of the youth first.
Agreed.
And that's where it all started. Generally, once you have the youth in your hands and they deem it popular,
yep,
the sky's the limit at this point. And what he did creatively, and even like, I mean, there's even designs that I was like, okay, I mean, all you did was just kind of remix it a little bit,
yeah,
and charge $200-300 extra. But at the end of the day, he put himself in a position that a lot of young black males would have loved to have been in, and was able to actually walk those halls and rub elbows with those people and actually
do the work.
Exactly, do the work and make it happen. So, I mean, he's a pioneer. He literally is like the first, I believe, black male that worked exclusively or like had that type of position with
in one of these fashion houses.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, that's
so
different, man.
That's different. And
because these are foreign brands.
It just makes it gives people something to thrive for. Not only black kids, but kids of the culture. You know what I'm saying? That see somebody that's of the culture.
Yep.
And was able to actually do what he set out to do. So shout out to Virgil.
Especially if you look at it from even just from a hip hop standpoint, like they got a list on the 𝗲𝗱 of the album covers that he helped design and was a part of. So you got 808s and Heartbreak. You got My Dark Twisted Fantasy. You got the Yeezus cover, which they said was pretty much like an open casket for
like
CDs.
Just a orange tape on it.
Yeah, because CDs were about to die, which they did. The Watch the Throne cover. Also the Good Music Cruel Summer. Lil Uzi Vert's Love is Rage 2. And then A$AP Rocky's Long Live A$AP. Kid Cudi's Wizard, I believe is how you pronounce it. And then Pop Smoke, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. Like he was a part of all of those in design from a creative standpoint. 2 Chainz, based on a true story. Pusha T, My Name Is My Name. Big Sean, Dark Sky Paradise. Even West Side Gun. I know Jay Moore, you had that as your favorite album, Pray for Paris.
Yep.
Yeah,
I love that. I love that design.
Yeah, he covered that out. He did that album cover.
I love the fact that these Chicago cats that came up under, well, not even necessarily under, but came up as Bulls fans watching Jordan, the first pretty much star that had shoes that was crazy relevant, that came up and now have their own shoes. That's so solid to me.
Yeah,
like as far as how Virgil and Kanye are doing that, that's dope.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, man, that brother was, a heavyweight in fashion. And, we talked about him setting an example for the youngins, something to look up to, And I hope his legacy, I don't hope, I know it will, because fam put in too much work. It's going to live on. Like, did y'all see that statue they had of him?
So they were already planning to do that.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Before,
okay.
yeah. So they showed actual behind the scenes of them actually scanning him.
Yeah.
In order to do that. So pretty much all the stuff that they had set up there, even the Virgil was here thing.
Yeah.
All that was set before he passed away.
Aha.
So they weren't just doing that out of him passing away. That's how it was going to look if he was still here.
Good call. That's what's up, man. So rest in peace to that brother, man. Job well done, especially from his impact and his legacy. And
Such a young age, man.
Yeah, man.
It really it puts things in perspective as far as being mortal.
Yeah,
like this year in general for me has definitely made me feel mortality, as far as knowing that anything can happen at any given time, and you don't know the day or the time that it's going to happen. It's just. It doesn't matter how much money you got, how much clout you got, how many people know you. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Because you think about someone like Vert, who had all the resources in the world, and when that cancer comes for you, man.
Steve
Jobs couldn't keep cancer from getting him. So
shout out to Nick Cannon. His son passed away.
That was very
brain
sad.
cancer.
Man,
you know.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine that.
No,
man.
not even 6 months
like-
old. No. I
Yeah,
couldn't
so that's tough, man. And I was telling somebody the other day about how fast time has moved, you know, from COVID to now. Like it feels like 2 years, year and a half, 2 years. It's just, it feels like 6 months sometimes.
Well, think about how long.
It
Think
seems
about
longer than that to me.
Does it seem longer than that?
Yes, since that hit, it seems like to me it's been 5 years for some reason. I don't know.
well,
It's
no.
a-
Think
it's a
about
blur
how,
to- it's a
think
blur
about
to
how
me.
long we had to do the show virtually.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when we thought, okay, we'll have to do this for a couple weeks,
Yep.
and then
We did it for a whole year.
yeah, and some
And
change,
some.
And some change.
and then like it. But it's weird because when did we all come back together? What was it?
June?
May?
Was it June? So we went from,
But think about how quickly it doesn't seem like it was that long ago
Nah,
we
it
started
doesn't.
doing this in person again.
I mean, but it was, you know, we always, you know, talk about year and wrap ups and go ahead into the new year. But that was an interesting time just from a standpoint of, I remember I started off doing Zoom on my phone doing the show because I had to figure out how to get my computer working and this and that. And, you know, we still were able to make it happen. I give us kudos for that to be able to still put a product out, but that was tough, man. It was tough.
Having sound issues a lot.
Yeah. You know, we had
Internet issues, all that stuff.
Yeah,
We prevailed.
yeah, some sound was crackling and, you know, popping here and this and that. And Lone did a great job of still making sure that everything was put out and presentable in a timely fashion. So, but you're right to circle back around. You just never know, man. It's a lot of people. I've lost people in my family, you know what I'm saying? And friends as well. Like, it's just tough, man. It's tough. But yeah, rest in peace to that brother, man. I know his legacy's going to live on, and he's got so many people that he's influenced and people that came up under him. I'm sure they will, to continue to push that movement forward. And, you know, again, condolences to him, to his family and everybody that was involved with him, especially close friends.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go ahead and jump into our topic here. Shout out to the chat. I see y'all. The chat is really been cutting up ever since the pre-show. I'm looking back at the times, and you guys have been active pretty much from the jump. So salute to the chat. We appreciate you. Let's talk about Drake. I know we did. I'm getting old. Last week we talked about the Grammy nominations. Correct? Is that last week?
Don't know.
Okay.
One of these shows.
Time is relative, and
Yeah.
it could have been a month ago,
Okay,
but
might
you
have
know,
been-
I forget when we talk about stuff.
I'm tripping. You know, I saw
Yeah.
the Matrix trailer, man. I don't know what's going on. But Drake has decided to remove himself from the Grammys, the 2022 Grammys, the nominations. He was he's nominated for 2 categories: Best Rap Album and Best Rap Performance. So obviously, what'd you say the album was called? What's Drake's album called? You can't remember? I can't remember what you said on the episode because I wasn't here, but it was hilarious.
I can't remember either, but it was pretty.
It was
funny.
hilarious. But Certified Lover Boy was nominated for those two categories. What do you guys think about that? Drake, you know, Drake has had some issues. You know, he said some things about the Grammys in the past, and you know, every once in a
What
while.
artist hasn't?
You're right.
But Drake is an artist who's won Grammys, who's had
Yes.
criticism about you know, because it's easy to be like, yeah, man, the Grammys are whack, and when you've never won.
True.
Well, Jay-Z has won Grammys, and he's had things to say about him.
I mean, well, you know, also
Tyler?
Yeah. This is true.
fair.
This is true.
That's a good point, Terry. That's a good
This
point.
is true. You know,
But what do you think about? I guess my thing is, what do you think about Drake pulling out of the Grammys being Drake? It's not like
He's doing it so Kanye can possibly win.
you think so.
Yeah.
Expand on that, man. Why do you? Why,
You know I had to
that
make
is
this
a real
about,
chess
You know
move.
I had
That's
to
what
make
he's
this
doing.
about
he
Kanye.
got to bring it back around to Kanye.
I had to make it about Kanye.
I'm gonna let you cook though, man. What do you?
Because Larry Hoover said that in order for him to do that concert, he does not need to be competing with Kanye, and it's going to help free Larry Hoover.
What?
I was like, I don't know about that, but you know, once again, it could be a chess move on Drake's part because it's like, say Kanye wins, he's like, well, you know, I had to get out of the way so Kanye could get something.
Oh, that would be Drake petty enough to use that as a huge feather. I had to get out the way so he could win. He is though, y'all know that. He petty enough to be like, yeah.
Neither of those albums should win.
I'm with you when you're right,
they
Long.
don't. No, neither of them should.
I'm not saying that Donna's going to win either. I'm just talking.
For the 12 good songs that you like, there's 12 on there that you can throw in the trash.
Isn't there more than that with the deluxe? Like 14 bad songs, 15?
Man, listen, man, y'all ain't gonna be.
I'm sorry.
You're not gonna be telling the truth out here.
Yeah, please don't do that. It's not 15
y'all
bad
ears are
ones.
broke, man.
Well, no, because
No, they're
some
not.
of them are. See, because the thing is, there's what Jail is on there twice.
Yeah,
Like there's songs that are on there that like either you like twice or you dislike twice.
twice. Yeah,
cool.
You
Let's
know,
just
so-
count them as one song.
Yeah, so like once again, I mean, and I've heard you talk about it, and other people talk about it. Look, I have a friend of mine that like went through and re-edited "Only Built for Cuban Links" because he wanted to take all the interludes out. You know,
I don't agree with that young man. By the way,
I just feel like there are people, if they went back and made their own Donda,
yeah,
it would give them a certain level of.
I just said it in the pre-show. I'm going to put out Donna the way it's supposed to be heard.
Lone, his album, Terry's version of Donda.
Mm-hmm.
If it works like I think it's supposed to work, it'll probably be
Still third on Grammy nomination list.
yeah. And it'll
That's fine.
It'll probably
I just want y'all to like it.
in order for
Put it
us.
together and let me hear it.
That's what I'm
All right.
saying. But in order for me to like it, I'm thinking the tracks is going to be track list is going to be what 5 to 7 tracks. It's gonna
I
be like
told
an
you
EP.
12.
He said 12.
He did say 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with no repeats.
No repeats.
I don't want to hear
How
9
many-
remixes.
How many were on the original?
the one good
20,
30.
25. Just put 3. If you put 3 stacks on there 12 times,
Chill out, man.
I'll vote for it.
Chill
Now,
out, man.
I'll give you the acapella if we just remix it 12 times.
Yeah?
I'll try. Yeah.
Can y'all do me a remix?
Yeah, if you want. What do you
Yeah,
want?
I'll flip it. Lone to flip it.
I already have. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. Lone flipped it.
Did you
flip.
win?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, they took it down.
I had that.
Oh,
up.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
4 hours, 33,000 views.
Yeah,
And then I
Lone
got-
flipped it. Smart man.
Yeah.
Well, until I got the strike.
But no, who knows why Drake did that? I mean, maybe it's on some Pretty Lover Boy. That's what he called it.
That's what it was. Pretty Lover
Maybe
Boy.
it's on some Pretty Lover Boy
Yeah.
shit. He decided he was too sexy for a nomination.
Lone,
Or-
let me
ish.
So he backed out.
Lone, let me ask you.
Time was
Let-
that
let me-
17?
Let me phrase it. Yeah, thank you. Let me phrase it this way: the biggest rapper is it fair to say Drake is the biggest rapper in the world?
He's definitely the biggest pop star in the world.
Well, that's what I would say, but I'm trying
pop star rapper.
no,
Pop
no,
rapper.
I mean, I
Pop
don't.
star rapper.
He's the biggest
He is.
artist.
Let's just be clear.
All right,
Yes,
let's
he
throw
is.
that out there, right? So, don't you think does that have some weight for him to? Do you think the Grammys are scrambling right now, or do they even really care?
They
That's
don't
what I'm
care.
asking.
I mean,
you.
it's the hip hop category.
Okay,
They don't even.
That's
put
what
it
I'm
on-
asking.
No,
That's what I'm
like,
asking.
They weren't going to put it on TV anyway.
They're not scrambling or anything like that. I think it's
Does it pull from their experience
I don't
having
know.
Drake not being nominated?
I don't think nobody. It's next man up.
Okay,
In
I'm
my
just asking.
opinion.
I'm
Like,
throwing it out there.
It's
Look.
next man up. I just think it's kind of significant because Drake said no, but
Okay.
and because he hasn't said why.
Okay,
Now, I have heard him say in
But-
different conversations, like, they've gotten it wrong. We need to have something that actually speaks to what is happening in the culture,
I've heard him say that.
and so like he's said those things, and something that I think all of us agree with. Where whenever we discuss the Grammys and we talk about their cultural blind spots, and when you talk about someone like Drake, who's like, you know what, just take me out of the running. I'm not coming. I don't know if he said he's not coming, but if you're going to take me, if I have no chance to win, I'm not coming.
Right.
So,
Gonna be out there in a club or party somewhere.
So I do think this is a big deal, especially if he goes into detail about exactly why in the next few days. But you notice like the Grammys weren't like, oh, Drake, please don't go. They're like,
They don't care.
Bro, it doesn't matter.
I mean, this is literally the same fight that has been going on since Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince won the first hip hop award.
That's fair.
Even then, winning that award, Fresh Prince had a lot to say about that particular moment in time and how they were slighted, but he took that award home. And this has literally been going on ever since that day. And with hip hop being the biggest platform or
the most streamed
category of
genre of
music,
music,
genre of music,
yeah.
it is lightweight disrespectful for the Grammys not to acknowledge them the way that they should.
Yeah, we talked
Agreed.
about that before. It was like,
Agreed.
How are you going, like, if it's, because let's just be honest, the Grammys is less an award show, but a celebration about the record industry. Okay? And how are you?
It's a seance where the Illuminati show.
Well, that too.
Wow.
But how is it?
That's what they say.
Your cash cow, as far as the record industry is concerned, you choose to acknowledge them in the pre-show.
Yeah.
Like every rap and R&B category needs to be on TV.
Yeah,
y'all, y'all need to cut out some of these whack performances and make sure that you get the people who are driving the industry,
who control the culture,
who and give them their time to get on stage. But once again, that's me. We've said this several times, and nobody listens, but it's all good.
Lost cause.
Yep. I don't know. I don't think. I think we just probably from a nostalgic point of view. I know from a musician standpoint. I mean, like we said, we want the Grammys. The Grammys.
Shout out to the Grammys.
I think that's 2 weeks in a row. I said that.
Grammys.
We want the Grammys to do good.
The graham crackers.
We want the Grammys to matter.
Teddy Grahams.
We want them to matter, but but the fact of the matter is it really doesn't, and I don't think this isn't going to affect Drake's career or anything.
Michael Jackson is never going to moonwalk on the Grammys again.
No.
So
do you think somebody
this
is just
exactly.
Do you think somebody like NBA YoungBoy, who has #1 albums when he doesn't even work with traditional streaming platforms?
That's what it was. Never mind.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yep, that's what it was.
So do you think he cares that he wasn't nominated for a Grammy? He said, 4 #1 albums with no support from radio, no support from TV.
In and out of jail.
Top streamer on YouTube.
Yeah.
Facts.
You talking about
It wasn't getting paid for it.
NBA YoungBoy.
That's another topic.
Yeah. So here's somebody who's, helping to drive the industry. The industry won't even acknowledge him. So once again, the Grammys are just in kind of no man's land. Of course, I just feel like, it's not going to be this year, but next year, when Adele is up for 12 Grammys,
man, she's gonna win 13. She's gonna win 13.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to that, they'll always make sure that certain people get their due. But other than that, man, honestly, what does a Grammy even mean in 2021?
Did Beck make an album this year?
Shoot, man.
Be careful.
What does a Grammy mean in 2015?
Yeah, he actually right.
I mean,
I've been saying it for 5 years on this show.
Yeah.
And before we actually started doing one,
I don't probably.
We've had that conversation. I remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
But that's fine.
Yeah, and I want them to be good. It's just
I want them to really, like I said, they have, when it's the Billboard Awards, when it's the iHeart Awards, those are about analytics and making sure, okay, the people in our industry that sold the most, that got their songs played the most, okay.
You think even the young boy gonna be there?
Even the American Music Awards, because
thank you.
Once again, radio records all done by Price Waterhouse or whatever accounting firm that takes care of all those things. I just remember that from when I was a kid. But that's when you acknowledge the commercial end. If you're going to actually acknowledge artistry, somewhere there is a disconnect. Yeah. And there's been a disconnect for probably honestly, since they gave Steely Dan album of the year over Eminem. And how and everybody who's listened to us for a long time knows how I feel about Eminem.
They hate us on TikTok.
But when we're talking about when we're talking about the Eminem the Eminem
Steely Dan should not win a Grammy in the 2000s.
Yeah, Steely Dan, everybody, I remember sitting with my buddy was like, wait a minute, Steely Dan put out an album this year?
You know what? It's funny that you said
nothing against Steely Dan, legendary artist. But why are you winning? How does Steely Dan beat Eminem?
What he said as it relates to they should be winning, you said it not in the 2000s.
Not in the 2000s.
Floyd Mayweather just said the other night, and I think this applies to the Grammys. He talked about the fight with Tank Davis and Cruz.
Javante.
Yeah, Javante. And one of the things that he said about the judges was the sport has to evolve. You got 78-year-old dudes that are judges, right? Sitting courtside.
If I was your age, I'd kick your ass.
Yeah, and it's like I think a lot of Larry. I think was it Larry Merchant?
Yeah,
he got mad. But I think a lot of that applies. I don't know if they're trying to weave that out.
It's literally clear across the board. So I
feel like that's the vibe with the Grammys.
That's everything that we deal with in America.
Yeah, I agree.
Nobody will step aside and let the next group of people come in.
Do you not see that, Lone? Do you think that's not there?
Well, so here's what I'm going to say about this, because I feel like we have this same conversation on a regular basis, but two separate conversations. And one way we're saying right now, create a wave for younger artists. But we also have the same argument about why isn't there a place for older hip hop artists in modern day music as well, right?
I guess I was talking about.
I know we're talking about different things, but what I'm saying is like I feel like the argument roots from kind of the same place. Like we're saying older artists get out the way, but at the same time we're saying, hey, we need a place for older artists.
I wouldn't necessarily say older artists. I'm saying more of, so when we talking about Grammys, there's a board
right
that are out of touch. Even when we talk about politics, everybody's old and out of touch.
That
they don't know what actually is good for the culture necessarily.
Okay.
Hip hop is the only genre of music where they pretty much be like, well, you're too old. You're supposed to sit down somewhere anyway.
Right.
So that's,
but
I get what you're saying.
But we're here saying Steely Dan shouldn't win a Grammy in the 2000s, right?
Well,
not for album of the year.
I mean, because
was it good though? Because I didn't hear it.
No,
So
I remember watching. I remember watching.
I'm usually if it's good. I'm
basing it on the fact that Steely Dan was known in the 70s and 80s. Right?
Yeah, of course. That's why I brought up
if
the
Fleetwood Mac
older
drop
judges.
an album right now, would they win something?
Who?
Fleetwood Mac.
They still make music? I thought they died or something.
Probably. I don't know.
No, but when I say
I'm sorry if you didn't die.
That's tough. Long.
But when we talk about like, okay, as much as Steely Dan, they were out. They were put out a record. It got nominated, but then it was like, okay, it was almost like the people who voted said, yeah.
We forgot about them.
We forgot. Hey, let's go ahead and give Steely Dan something. It was like,
don't do.
No.
I hate you. I see what you did there.
Kind of is.
I remember that entire award show. Steely Dan didn't win anything else the entire night.
Yeah,
but then when it was time to give out album of the year, you give it to Steely Dan.
I wish I could have seen Long's face when he was like, kind of like Nas, huh?
Just watch the replay.
Hey man, at the end of the day,
I just feel like
we're never gonna.
I just feel like in that particular example, they're like, okay, because we need people to watch. Okay, we'll give Eminem his rap awards and his song awards, but we still got to let people know that this is about an establishment. Yeah. That
I was
still
surprised.
Have to pay homage to, and so we're going to give Steely Dan just to let you know. It's like, look, you're not there yet.
Yeah, be clear. We still run this.
I was surprised when Outkast won album of the year. If I want to keep it a buck.
I wasn't, just because white people loved Hey Ya so much.
It doesn't matter. White people love Eminem.
But I'm 100% with Terry on this one. I didn't see it coming.
I did not see that coming at all.
And I was so hyped when they won, but I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I saw.
And that was the point in time when Andre decided he was done.
Stop, man. Stop.
They won album of the year, and Andre decided he was done.
I mean, well,
I kind of wish they ain't win, so that way Stax could have put out more product. But
yeah,
maybe we'd have.
He's like, I stopped rapping and started singing, and they gave me a Grammy.
Yeah. He has an internal thing going on with him too, that if they're telling me I'm number one, then I don't really have nothing to fight for.
Big Boy said they got jams sitting around. So
I mean, I imagine they probably got Tupac worth of jams sitting around some damn where, but
there's gonna be better than
it don't
Pac's.
mean nothing.
Yeah, there's gonna be better than Pac's. I will say that. Are You Still Down was I ain't gonna talk about that.
If you haven't seen it,
was a John B record.
Talking about the double album, man.
Ah, come on. He didn't have nothing to do with that.
I ain't say
John B. Good.
Stop, Long. All right, man.
If you haven't seen the interview with Rick Rubin and Andre 3000, it's a very good watch.
Yes.
Yeah, because they're both so zen and serene, and
Andre got real.
He got real in that interview.
They like to sit Indian style.
Yeah, he got real in that interview.
And play flutes. Mm-hmm. Play majestic instruments.
I get hyped.
I mean,
I'm waiting for Andre 3000 to start playing the harp. That'll be the next joint.
I tell you every week, get your people, man. You responsible for that side.
That's
of the
my
table,
guy,
man.
but I'm waiting for him to start playing the harp.
You responsible for that side.
He might even play the mouth harp joint.
Play the finger boy.
The finger boy.
Finger harp.
Majestic.
Yeah, like
y'all got to watch out for people out here playing that mouth harp
or play them weird instruments that Stevie Wonder be playing. He be playing some stuff that you ain't never even heard of.
The zither.
The skin flute.
Jay Moore said, you got to watch out for those people that be playing the mouth harp. Wow. And on that note,
Well,
Lone, can we shout out the partners real quick?
sure, why not?
Oh my God, man!
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. Sun King Brewery is what we're drinking on every episode. Check out their many local locations, and they might just be selling in your city if you're not in Indianapolis. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
Yep.
Thanks, Lone. Welcome back. We appreciate the chat. Appreciate our sponsors as well. Not at all. Not at all. Chad, I see you. We got some interesting comments
He
in
likes
here.
beakers.
Thank you. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about George.
George Benson was cold though. All right.
He's got some records. I've got like 5 of one of his records.
I think you flipped some George Benson too.
Yeah.
Actually pretty well.
Benson and Beaker.
I didn't do that. All right, man. Let me get my life together. All right. TikTok gonna be in the comments like, man, they laughing too much. Get to the topic.
I don't know.
But
Y'all doing elementary style topics. That was the comment. It was kind of funny because
why y'all be letting y'all don't know what y'all talking about? Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
If I was on there, well, start your own podcast. Tired of this foolishness, man.
Good luck.
We still love the supporters though. Yeah, regardless. All right. So let's try this one, man. Third topic. I always try to cite my sources. This is via Complex. Title says, "What does underground rap mean today?" And there's a gentleman that breaks down, uses a couple examples of an underground rapper. It says some people may call West Side Gun an underground rapper because of Griselda's sound and her style, but he's a former Shady record signee who's sat in front row at Paris Fashion Week. We know about his fashion, his art gallery in Buffalo.
Yeah, that definitely means he's mainstream.
Don't do that. They mentioned Jay Electronica and him embodying the underground sound, which I actually agree with. And why he's underground, I don't know. With all of the whole Jay Electronica, with all the plugs that he's been around, I still don't know that. And
he's not underground. He's unheard.
Well,
look, you can't be underground. You're on Rock Nation.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Well,
you can't have like
Grammy nominated on Rock Nation.
You can't have the entire culture wants you to drop an album and be underground.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started because I feel like he's severely dropped the ball, but that's neither here nor there.
That's for episode 197.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Rewind the track.
Yeah, you're right. Renowned A&R executive Dante Ross thinks underground rap means everything that's not mainstream and has a somewhat determined ceiling.
Welcome to 2008.
Do you guys when you look at artists, right? We talk about
probably earlier
underground. Has the perception of underground artists changed, or do you think it's still what it was? What you say, 2000? What you just referenced, 2008?
Yeah, I mean, you can go back to whenever you want to go back to when Biggie and the Shiny Suit era.
So you're saying you think it's been pretty much consistent since then to now? If you look at it whatever underground means, because when he says shady and he talks about Griselda's reach, I would say Griselda was underground. But if you look at them now, do you still think they would be looked at as underground now? Are they still like a niche group?
They were underground. I would say they were underground maybe 5-6 years ago.
You don't think they're underground now though?
They could have even been underground 3 years ago.
They're
honestly.
in a holding pattern.
But right now, I mean, they're
in between.
They're managed by Rock Nation,
right?
At least 2 out of the 3.
Yep.
Benny just signed to Def Jam.
Yep.
They have ties to Shady.
Yep.
I would say they've surpassed underground level.
Yeah, probably.
It depends on how you define it, to be honest with you. It's kind of like the conversation that we had last week as far as if the Grammys were to come up with an underground category.
Yeah.
Like what
criteria?
What's the criteria of that underground conversation or underground category? if there were to become one, because I mean, the underground term is kind of
It's washed, man.
yeah,
It's kind of
is
You think
loose
it's washed?
now.
it's like it doesn't have any meaning. It's kind of like for the culture at this point, because
We've talked about that.
if you're not super mainstream, then you're kind of underground to a degree, and it's just like stepping stones.
Literally every artist right now, because the doors are wide open. You're able to write, produce your own stuff. You can get you a SoundCloud. You can upload it to iTunes, whatever.
Can't put it out yourself.
You can garner your own fan base. So technically, you and Lone are underground artists right now.
Right?
Have been.
Exactly.
Have been.
But that on your tier level of underground, there may be another level up that's still underground.
Absolutely.
And then another level up from that that's still underground, or even below that's still underground.
It's both.
Yeah, so it's like, it depends on what artist you're talking about, what you're going to classify as underground, how many listens and streams and fans do these people have to be underground. I mean,
I feel like underground is just a term that just means that it's not mainstream.
It's not on the radio.
It's not on the radio. Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not
it's not
radio.
pushed on your
it's not that. There's so many subgenres. Like it's not something that can be defined very simply, because everything is like, if I mention an artist and I've been listening to them and I've watched them scale, to a major level, let's say West Side Gun, for example, or even Benny's
for like a Larry June.
Larry
That's a good
June,
one.
to me, Larry June is underground because I barely know him, right? But because I barely know him. But there are people that barely know Benny.
Right.
You put Benny on a category with Nas. I saw a TikTok recently where it's like best lyricists of 2021. It was like Benny, Nas, J. Cole, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, who's Benny the Butcher?
Yeah.
It
was a TV show that they were talking about Griselda on, and they kind of laughed, and somebody was like, well, who is that? I can't remember what show. It might have been Ellen or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I don't think the term, I don't want to say matters. I think it's just a phrase to use when something's not super mainstream. I think that's all that underground means at this point.
I think true underground, and I could be wrong, represented the time period between, let's say, 94 to like, say, the sound bombing era, which was what, the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Like 2005, something like that. I mean, Lil Brother could have been considered underground.
There was a time, I feel like there was a time when people legitimately did not want to be popular. They didn't want to be mainstream.
And there was you could sell yourself on not being mainstream.
And nowadays it's not a selling point, because it's just a scale. It's just like, it's social media. You get to define it, right?
Is Freddie Gibbs underground?
To some people.
To some people.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't know when he got nominated for the Grammy. A lot of people didn't know who Freddie Gibbs was at all.
Yeah. But there's so much gray area, because it's like, even with what Terry just said, it's like, how many people is a lot of people,
right?
Because the world is huge.
Look, how underground can you really be in this era of streaming? When if when I turn on my phone and then I see the new Griselda pop up, and is new albums listed, and honestly, there's only like 10, maybe 15 artists are on the radio at any given time. Everybody else is underground.
But we gotta consider too that these streaming things,
but everything else is underground.
These streaming things are following our algorithms. So these type artists may pop up for us.
Yeah.
But they're not popping up for everybody else. It listens to a whole separate genre of
That's
music.
what I mean. Like, it's not really a thing. Like, of course it's a thing. So there's super underground artists that are going to make specific music, and they're not going to try to change it all. And maybe they can pretend like they don't care about scaling, even though they do, because they want more fans. Because because they want more money. We know this is the case.
Let me ask you this.
We know that.
After you finish your point.
But what I was going to say is, like, there's certainly levels to the underground and levels to artists and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, every single person that makes music wants to turn it into something to where they can actually eat off of it. And once they turn it into something that they can actually eat off of, they're going to want more, because it's just spools, because we're living in capitalism, and that's what we have to do.
That's his line.
And that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So it's you know, there's levels to underground. You know, there's tons of underground artists still. And certainly people aren't going to maybe necessarily change their integrity, but I don't think changing your integrity of your music means that you become less underground.
I don't want you to lose your train of thought on your point.
All right, so technically, or is Tech-9 an underground artist?
On paper, I think he is, but his success was
because
otherwise.
he's probably the most successful independent rapper that's still competing in the game.
But I think what we have to come down to, the way we can answer this question is actually define what underground means. That's what we have to do first.
We've talked about that. Yep.
And there's no definition for it. So because we have no definition for it, we're just like throwing thoughts at a wall, right?
Well, I mean, it's there's a lot. I agree with what you're saying because there's a lot of gray area here. Like to define, to really file this down and to get it to a point where you define it is going to dang near be impossible, right? Because there's so many elements. You struck a nerve with me because I know we know artists like what you described, where it's like, yeah, they want to stay underground and they want to do this, they want to do that, but in the back of their mind, they're thinking, I still want to eat. I still want to.
My thing is, it's not that they want to stay underground; they just don't want to lose who they are. That's all it is.
Okay, that's fair.
If all of a sudden the entire population wants their sound, then they're going to be mainstream. They're not going to change.
It's kind of a hipster,
I was wrong when I said that. You're right.
It's kind of a hipster hip hop type thing. It's like they want to be in their own bubble, so to speak.
Yeah.
Even being known, but not trying to be known.
They want their bubble to pop. They want their thing to be original, and I can appreciate that.
I respect that. Yeah, I respect that.
But it doesn't mean that it's like any less or more underground, or like it changes the mindsets of the
I don't want
artists.
you to lose your thought, Jay. Jump in there.
Well, no, you got to understand. Look, there are artists who make records specifically so they can get on the radio. All right. And then there are artists who are just like, all right, I'm going to make these 9 to 12 songs that I think will connect with somebody who has the same mindset as I do. Like, there's no marketing plan. You know, you're not thinking it like we've talked about this. It's like, okay, let me just do this for the strip clubs. Okay, I'm gonna do this so that it plays on the West Coast. I'm gonna do this for the girls. And I'm, you know, there's no like when Griselda, when they make records, they're not thinking about it
at all. At all.
But if you're, you know, a Drake, you know, just because he's the biggest guy, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna rap on this song, but this is gonna be the single, and I'm gonna say I'm too sexy, and then I'm gonna jump on and I'm gonna do this record with the little reggae voice, you know, because I know an Afro beat, you know, because that's hot right now, and then I'm gonna do this for my international. Like, there's a different.
That's his bag.
When you have to. There are some artists who, when you're at a label, you know, they're like, okay, you could turn in an album and they'd be like, we need one more. And that one more is the song that you need to turn in so we can sell this record, because that's the kind of artist you are.
But again, I think, and this is not speaking of what you're saying, I feel like that's an old mindset in the sense that.
Why you say that?
It's not necessarily necessary.
It's not necessary anymore because it doesn't like. I think Drake he's the type of artist that he makes those type of records because that's just what he does.
Right.
That's his niche. He's a chameleon. He found an outline and he stuck to it.
He's a chameleon.
He bodied him.
But at the same time, you don't have to do that anymore. Like you don't have to like do market research. You just post something on social media and see what works, and then you post something else, and then you post something else. It's kind of a different era in this point. Maybe if you're talking specifically about the club.
Yeah, maybe, but there are certain people who are like, I need my spins to go up in the club, on the radio.
Yeah.
Like, there are people that don't care anything about that because the music they make is going to stream anyway.
I think what I'm getting at is that mindset in general is diminishing by the day because soon we're just going to be, everybody's going to be hype off of what. I would not be surprised if social media anthems that are really short become a thing and hit songs and become stuff people play in the club and stuff like that.
They are DJ at Kid Party. That's pretty much all you're playing.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, we're getting to that point. Yeah. So,
like with a song from the Silhouette Challenge, I didn't know that was an actual song.
Oh yeah.
Or the Bust It Challenge. These songs wind up being actual hits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're not putting any money behind
that Tory Lanez thing that Tory Lanez freestyle that he was doing on somebody's stream.
They used that more than they used the actual song.
That really took off.
20 bad.
on an island.
There we go. I like the edit. I like the edit.
Hold on, what is that?
Good job. Good
the
job.
song where like it was a TikTok. It was like, "Baby, come get some love." Then it was like and they did this. I can't remember what's I can't remember.
Sound like
First of all, shout out to Jay Moore with the R&B hands. I saw you. I saw this.
R&B hands.
Yeah, I saw you make it rain. I saw that.
No,
I saw that.
You know, and like I said,
Hell, Jason Derulo made a song off of a TikTok. The little beat that they was using in TikTok.
This is what I've been.
He made a whole song from that.
Long shaking his head.
I'm telling you, this is what I've been telling. Maybe Gobinator's still in here. I'm telling you. I tell my students this too. You have to make content for social media.
Yes.
Yeah.
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That's what's important.
You have to it doesn't albums. I love albums, right? I come from that era.
We're the last era, I think. We're the last.
But it
wave.
doesn't matter.
It don't.
𝗏 $. The 𝗏 $. That was who did that record.
Oh, I ain't fighting you. I agree 100%.
I did the terrible rendition of it.
We're the last ones with that.
It's like focus on making cool, creative, like dope music for social media rather than for like people that are gonna sit down and put the needle on the
There's a wave. There's a wave of younger artists. To your point,
they're already on it.
That are already on it and have been conditioned to think past what Adele was talking about a few episodes ago, where we talked about how she focused so much on her sequencing. Yeah. I still do that when I'm working on the project. I'll sit down and think about how I want to put it out.
That'll be the new underground.
Maybe it will be
people
because
who care about album sequencing too.
Because now it's like, all right, so we'll just throw some songs together and then I hope it get on the playlist and stick.
Yeah.
And we good, we lit. Like I hope it gets on social media, TikTok. We can get on the playlist and I'm cool. Skip the sequence
because it goes back to that thing that I was saying last week about you have to master two things, right?
Yeah.
What you're good at, and then like how you get it to
attention.
people.
Yeah.
And right now, the way that you get attention is that is the way. Like you can spend a ton of money on marketing.
Shout out to the Mandalorian.
If you got the money, you can spend the money on marketing in different ways, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise, you got to play the algorithms, and you got to or know a lot of people. And
look, you could throw lots of money at something that will never connect to the people.
Yeah.
And you'll get in that time where I was in the radio, there was a little bit of a payola scam. Mm-hmm. All right, not for me. Bit. Not but it was stuff going on with Sony, a couple Jennifer Lopez records that people didn't really like, but they was on some. They made it.
Don't get the shaming out here. Now
oh no, I'm this is well documented. I'm not telling tales out of school.
All right, I was just checking.
And the thing is, you can pay people to put these songs on the list, but if they don't like them, there's only it might get to number 47.
That's why it still matters. Like the content, what you make still matters.
Yeah.
Yes, you still have to have something that connects to the people.
Look, again, I'll say it again. I see Nicole says she disagrees. But,
what she disagree with?
And that's cool. That's cool. And they're always
you can pay to get
this is what
a
I
record
said.
that goes number 47. You can't pay to get a record up to number 1.
This is what I said last week. They're still going to be there. It's just
I just read what she said and I agree with her.
Mm-hmm. Which part?
The part about it might be a certain type of way.
I haven't read that.
But artists make albums and artists aren't going away ever. I agree with that.
No, for sure. But
I'm with her on that.
But that's not the argument.
I'm with her on that.
But that's not the argument. The argument is that for a long time, so you can still make albums. There are always going to be people that are going to make projects front to back. I just made one like the last couple of days, right? In a way, I made a project front to back. But the way people consume, it's not in the.
To me,
it's not sequenced.
To me,
it's more what's hot right now.
To me, that's looked at. To me, that's looked at as now it's going to be shifted to. That's a purist approach.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like you're a purist now, which could be the new underground, like both of y'all said.
Right.
It's a purist approach. Oh, I want a sequence. I want to make sure the album is good.
Yeah.
I pay attention to the artwork. Everything is important. Maybe that's a purist approach now in 2021.
This trend is not new. Like
it's not new.
Like I mean, think about like the artists that were putting out like millions of songs or like tens of 20s and 30s of songs on their Spotify album just so they can get different streams when
Chris
people
Brown.
click them. It's not going away. It is the end of the album. I think it's the end of the album. I think it's the end of the album era in the sense that it's going to stop mattering how
how people consume it in the future.
Well, we
You can quote me.
Is there going to be any album that goes diamond again?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
but it'll be a different way. It's going to be a different
It's
way.
going to be a different way.
Diamond.
It's going to be project based. It's going to be based upon streams. Like there are always going
Cardi
to
B just got a platinum plaque.
there are always going to be people. This is like
People's getting platinum plaques in a week.
you can't look at it in the sense of it's going all the way, and it's not like a binary black and white thing. But for
You said we sound like old heads.
that's fine. We can
Hey, did you
fine.
check out the name of the show?
And
I
even
need
more
a drum
so,
set right there. I feel you. I feel you.
but at the same time, like even Nicole, even you talking, you're an old head. So I mean, like, so I
Cole,
don't know.
I think I'm on your side on,
That's
on
okay.
some of this.
I
Look,
get it.
and I'm never on the call. I'm never
time
on
will
sides
tell.
of it.
Time will tell. Time will tell. But the way everything's been trending and how people consume music,
Yeah,
I get it.
that is not going away.
See, the thing about it
It's
is,
only gonna evolve.
us, and probably most of our audience prefer an album.
I do too.
Sequence.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
I do
like
too.
the sequence, and we
Yeah,
like
for sure.
the order. We like how this is pretty much an arrangement that all flows together.
That matters to me.
We like that.
Absolutely.
But there is a majority now who don't really care. All they want is there's 6-7 songs that hit in the club or that are popular on TikTok or are just bops. so to
Look, that's
speak.
why
You know
so
what I'm
many
saying?
people, they're putting out these records in only 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Why?
Man,
because
Shorter
like,
than that.
yeah, shorter than that, because you know what? To make it hot on TikTok, you only need 30 seconds.
Even when you think about the kids that
you might need 15.
that have I don't even want to sound like I'm making them sound better than somebody else, but they have a better ear than other kids.
Yeah.
And they're actually digging and going back and listening to older music and kind of prefer the older style versus the newer style. There's still a slim majority of them compared to the mass majority of the people that are more into
those
the
kids-
microwave era type thing.
Those kids that he described are going to be the outcasts now.
Yeah.
They're going to be way over in the corner.
But those are going to be the kids that are going to, because time repeats itself.
Facts.
So it's going to come back again to where that sequencing and albums
It'll
and the
circulate.
musicality is going to come back
But those
to where that's going to be
the
important.
kids that he's describing, I think it'll be the next wave of Kendrick, Lupe,
Maybe.
people like that.
see.
Maybe we'll see.
But here's the
in my
thing.
opinion, I think those are
But
going to be the types
But
of
here's the
kids
thing,
that
even-
might put out product. Like
even-
Corday is an example to me.
But even with all that being said, no matter how good they are, it doesn't matter because of how the number one thing is how do people consume?
True.
That is the most important part of it. Like
you
I
have
don't-
to-
I don't
you
care.
have to
I don't
adapt.
care. I don't care what we're talking about unless something happens digitally to where we're forced to listen to stuff like that,
Metaverse.
or it becomes great. Who knows, right? Who knows what it looks like in 5 years from now?
Yeah,
But right now,
it'll be different.
One thing I'm telling you is that I'm not telling any of my students to make albums.
Yeah.
Look, there was a time where
I'm not
if-
doing it. Like
you-
because it's gonna take it's so much wasted energy.
Yeah. Look, there was a time if you wanted to have a hamburger, you had to go somewhere. They would sit down and you'd say, "I'd like a hamburger."
Yeah.
And if you could,
And I'll
put
pay you on Tuesday
No,
for
no.
a burger today.
But then,
Stupid.
and then after maybe
Put on my tab.
10, 15 minutes, they would bring you your hamburger on a plate
Yeah.
to your table.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, there was this guy who was like, "Hey, let's go ahead and make these as quickly as possible. Let's just have some rating on deck, and we can just go ahead and serve them as fast as we can." It was a guy who created McDonald's, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, let's go ahead and do McDonald's." And then somebody said, "Hey, you know what?
Let's steal his idea.
We don't even want people to
Facts.
get out of their car. They can just drive up, get the order here, and then drive here, and the food is ready."
And be fat and get you a super size.
Just the same way we don't consume food the same way.
What's going to
Actual food.
Agreed.
So what there's no way we're going to continue to consume media.
that's the thing.
Everything's based off evolution.
Remember,
what's
there
go-
was
yeah.
there was a time where like it was almost like a show of wealth if you went to somebody's house and they had a bunch of DVDs. Now, if I go to somebody's
beta
house
player.
and I see they got a bunch of DVDs, I was like, this is a bunch of wasted space in the streaming era.
Why do y'all
Hey, I
have
still
these?
got DVDs.
got 'em in a
They ain't
box.
displayed.
They're in a box.
But yeah.
Yeah,
My mama,
exactly.
my mama
Look, I still go to my parents' house. They still got them VHS tapes.
My mama, bless her heart, she argued
stuff on them.
She argued with me.
Stuff that's never been released on DVD.
Yeah. I bless her heart. She argued with me all the time. I said, Mama, you don't need these anymore. Boy, them still good. I might watch those. Mama, ain't no more VCRs. What are you talking about? Boy, these are still good. I got a VCR here. I'm like, Mama, they taking up space. That's her era though. Like she don't want to let go.
We just have to like it. Yeah, and
it's
so
your era too.
It is.
Are you playing?
Yeah,
mine too.
Like you don't remember going to Blockbuster.
Y'all know what I meant. Yeah. Evolution though is the name of the game.
But it is.
It's evolution.
Until something happens to where it makes longer content more, I don't know,
valued.
Yeah, maybe valued or
not going to happen anytime soon.
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
I don't either.
Everything is so right now. Everything is so Friday. So when the album comes out on Friday, everybody talks about it on Friday. They love it on Friday. You never hear nothing else about it.
Yep.
And then the next album drops the following Friday or whenever. What was the last one everybody was up in arms about? The not the Adele, the old girl that was out in not Metro.
Taylor Swift?
No. He
the
talking
girl who
I can't
whose
call
baby
her name.
daddy is the producer.
Summer Walker.
Summer Walker. Yeah, she talking crazy about him on the album. That's because people love drama, so they gonna listen to that whole album because she's talking
like
spicy.
Kanye's.
It's pretty much the Shade Room album.
Well,
So
that goes in the Lone's equation as well about.
Well,
stuff.
remember when we
does.
talked a little bit about what the music industry can learn from the video game industry. And I think, honestly, the music industry has already learned because remember there was a time where like when you bought a game, you played through the story and that was it. Or you played through the story again.
Yeah.
But then once online gaming is like, okay, I can sit down and enjoy this for 15 minutes and then go do something else. And I can play online match in Halo.
Grand Theft
or I
Auto.
could play a death match in Grand Theft Auto, just like you said, or in Call of Duty, I can play Nuketown.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm giving you just a little bite. And it got to the point where like the video game companies are like, why am I going to give you a campaign?
Yeah.
You're only going to play these little 15. So honestly, the record company and video game companies have kind of been on the same track this whole time.
Hey, at the end of the day, we got one more we want to squeeze in before we get out of here. At the end of the day, we all are in agreement. Microwave era, microwave, whatever you want to call it, it'll probably change in the next X amount of years. I see.
Ain't nobody making popcorn and
but it's about evolution. If you're an artist, if you're up and coming, learn to evolve.
And the one other thing I want to do real quick is like if you still love albums, you can make albums. But
I'm one of those people.
But you have to figure out how to get it to people in a way that they can consume.
100% agree. And let's end it there and get to this last topic before we get out of here. We usually do rundowns, and we'll probably still do one, but
I don't care no more.
Terry don't care no more.
I don't either.
Well, that's 2 for 2, so duly noted. Do you still care?
I mean, just so I can talk about how bad the lists are, just like we did last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, just throwing it out there.
I like to dismantle these sort of things.
So, Hot New Hip Hop has a list of the top 30 albums that came out this year. I just wanted to start around the 10 area because we can talk about. We can each throw out an album that we enjoyed the most this year, or something that we had, an album that stuck with us. So they started at 10 with
let's just list them and then talk about them.
Okay, so we got Conway. Is it how you say that, Terry? Machina? Did I say that right?
Machina.
La Machina?
Depends what language it is. I don't know.
They gonna destroy me in the chat. Led by Nicole.
La Macarena.
Nas, King's Disease 2, which I enjoyed.
Better than the first one. I know you say it's a companion piece, but it's still better.
It's better than the first one. We agree. How Lloyd Banks beat that, I don't know. But Lloyd Banks' Curse of the Inevitable.
I heard that was actually a good
Lloyd
album.
Banks is a nice album. Did you listen to it?
I did. I might have to run it again.
Okay.
Isaiah Rashad.
I don't think it's better than Nas, though, but it's a good record.
We agree there. Isaiah Rashad, The House is Burning. I enjoyed.
That's a good album.
Enjoyed it. Kanye, don't do that. Kanye Donda. We'll go past that. Doja Cat, Planet Her.
Is that? Hold on, that's a hip hop album.
Hey, listen, I'm just going off with the site guy, brother. J. Cole, off season.
I need to go back and listen to it again.
Doja Cat. Go back and listen to Doja
Number
Cat.
3, Pretty
off season.
Okay.
Number 3, Pretty Lover Boy by Drake. Baby King. They gassing Baby King.
Man,
Am I
that
asleep?
Kendrick power.
Am I wrong?
That Kendrick power.
Maybe they hear something. In
The young ones love like Baby Keith.
I'm sleep. It ain't because he young. Like I'm
no,
just
he
sleep.
got a couple joints, but I was like, no, as an album,
That Kendrick record didn't do it for me. I'm sleep. Maybe I need to go back and listen to it. It ain't because he young. I'm just talking about the music. I'm cool. Tyler the Creator, my favorite for album of the year.
Yeah. What's number one? Was that number one?
That was number one.
Okay.
So we'll go around real quick before we get out of here. Name one album that I guess that stood out to you this year, something that's quote unquote memorable for you as it relates to hip hop and albums that you heard. What stuck with you, Lone, if you had to pick one album?
My one album this year is, I'll throw two out there, and I'm gonna throw an underground one out there
Yes,
too.
I like the air quotes.
But no, the one that stuck out to me was Mick Jenkins' Elephant in the Room.
Yes.
I still haven't peeped.
I still got to peep. I don't want to comment on it
that's
yet.
it's probably that and Tyler are probably my two favorites.
I really like that Tyler. I mean, I like the 𝗀𝗲 joint a lot, to be honest.
Skyzoo was
yeah,
tough.
that's pretty good too.
Yeah.
But I would say the Mick Jenkins. I'm just a fan of Mick, so I'm a little biased. But I would also throw out I would throw Crown that you and Pete did.
Hey,
It's a
I
good project.
appreciate it, man.
Solid front to back.
Thank
Solid,
you, man.
Solid.
Appreciate you. Jay Diff, jump in there.
My favorite of the year.
Give me something that just stuck with you. Like it's the one that you keep going back to.
My stream say Nas.
It did. We saw that. Yeah.
But
What's your heart say?
What's your heart say?
my heart say R&B stuff. To be honest, with
I ain't
you.
mad at that.
If you want me to be,
I ain't mad at that.
I'm on the same page.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
so. I don't know, man. That Tyler was solid. Like I said, the 𝗀𝗲 was solid. Nobody gonna say that 𝗀𝗲. I damn near guarantee you.
They sleep. If y'all didn't listen to it, please go run that.
I still stand on it. I'm standing on it.
That was unnecessary, Mike.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I still stand
Thank you,
on
Jay
it,
Moore.
regardless.
He's gonna take it all the way to the bank at this point.
I'm thinking of a Griselda joint because when Griselda probably dropped 6 or 7.
You know they gonna drop. West Side Gun gonna have 2 every year off GP.
Yeah.
Man, it might have 3. No, him.
I hope Odyssey drops at the end of the year.
I would love for
that would be
Odyssey
cool.
to drop.
I heard he's got like 2 projects in it.
Yeah.
Odyssey is a fool.
Odyssey's one of those few artists that I look forward to.
Can we
his
air
music.
quote? Can we air quote him for Underground?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't
Boy,
know.
he got a heck
He's definitely-
of a live show.
No, he's
Definitely not
underground.
mainstream.
For me, it would be Tyler to me, and Cleo Soul.
Cleo Soul, I eliminated R&B. I said R&B
I
is
still need to listen to that.
technically my favorite stuff.
It must be good. You guys keep talking
Hey,
about
that
it.
Cleo Soul is cool.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a below the heavens moment for me. I remember when people were talking about below the heavens, I was like, yeah, I guess I'll listen to these 2 artists I've never heard of.
Sit down.
And I
don't
was
know.
like, oh,
if you got editing, not editing. If you got something to do that
You gotta be in
involves,
the mood to listen to it.
yeah, I'm gonna need you to sit down and be still.
the tall black guy was good too.
That was
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Him and you talking about the one with him and Jose Moore?
I don't know who the rapper is. But
Jose Moore, yeah.
Yeah.
He nice.
yeah, it was good.
He nice. Him and
Add
Tall
2 had a record on there.
he and Tall Black Guy have a great chemistry.
No, they sounded good together.
I got a chance. I'm gonna stunt real quick. I got a
That
chance.
Styly shit was tight though.
Oh, what you
sorry.
call it? I'm gonna stunt real quick, Lone. I got a chance to hear that album early, and that album is fire. So shout out to Terrell. That album is cold.
Yep.
All right, Jay Moore, talk
His
to me.
stunning was calling him by his first name.
I have to.
Yes, it was.
I have to go ahead with
That's
the.
my guy. Yes, it was.
You know, when I need that musical breath of fresh air, I do go to the Cleo Soul.
Yes.
That album. I think it's a great record.
He's tough.
But you
cheating.
know
Y'all
what?
cheating.
As far as hip hop is concerned, you know, I've always been a fan, but like I've really kind of stepped it up as far as the amount of time I pay attention to him. But
Donda?
no,
Y'all ain't gonna keep fronting on Ye.
the Joel
front,
Ortiz.
You know.
That Joel
Oh.
Ortiz. Yeah, that's
I
hard.
think like you know
Which one is it? What's it called?
that's sincerely yours or something.
That's the thing, because like I
can't remember.
I just click on the new joint and like I don't, because I remember a couple years
I
ago.
listened to his last one Monday.
The one that had
It was
screens and the one about anxiety, like
Yeah, that
those
was dope.
records were
This
y'all.
one called Autograph, Signature, or something like that.
It's called Mondays or something.
The new.
I'm just saying I
don't
can't
know.
remember, but you know, because like I said, I just put it into my.
I'll have to
queue
go back and listen to that.
Joel,
But,
nice though. Nice.
This is Joel. It's a good. It's just a good hip hop.
Joel,
album
nice.
that I
It's
don't
good.
think people are listening to. I loved the AZ record. I've been
Yes,
listening to
thank
that.
you.
See, the
more.
AZ record, I
Thank
did
you.
listen
I've
to
been
it. It was
listening
cool.
to that AZ record a
It
lot
didn't
more.
hold me like that.
I'm with Jay Moore on this one. That AZ was cold.
You know, and I just
that AZ was cold.
but yes, as far as hip hop, you know, that everyone's not mentioning, you know, between the Joel Ortiz and the AZ, You know, and like I said, I enjoyed the Lloyd Banks record, considering he doesn't have that backing of G Unit like he had.
I gotta go back and run that again.
I was like, this is, you know, because like sometimes the music can just really pass you by. It's almost like being running back in the NFL to where all of a sudden you just don't have it anymore.
The only reason I didn't mention it is because
you didn't listen to it.
No, no, because it came out recently. But that's Snoop Algorithm.
That Snoop Algorithm is good.
I'm telling you.
But it's more of a compilation.
It's a compilation, so I ain't gonna throw it in there, but I cannot stress to y'all enough. Please go listen to Snoop's Algorithm compilation.
Okay.
Production.
Don't sleep on it.
It's fire.
It's actually pretty dope. I got a couple of joints off of there for one after work.
Yeah, they go. So
all right,
man. So we appreciate all the support as always. Shout out to the chat.
Y'all have some great albums now. Stop making them. I'm joking.
Because Lone says stop paying attention to
work on your singles, get your TikToks up.
Stop spending so much time on your albums. The Lone method. All right, man.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
We appreciate the chat as always, man. Make sure you guys go to Google and search New Old Heads.
New Old Heads.
Did I say New Old Heads. Anything that you see, like, subscribe. If there's a bell, hit it for notifications.
.com.
All of that. NewOldHeads.com. We appreciate the support as always. Love the haters as well. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
In a minute.
Goodbye.